In this video, I will thoroughly explain the origins of the Witness, the first time it encountered the Traveler, its civilization, and the being it is today, and the pursuit that it's going for being the final shape. Now, I have to warn you, some of this info has been leaked, and it's not fully in the game yet, but as a person like me, I really wanted these answers in Lightfall, and even though it kind of ruins the surprise later in the season, it is still exciting info, and I heavily recommend you stay for the whole video because you won't be disappointed. I also would love if you guys could subscribe, as we were trying to reach 30k and only 5% of you guys subscribe. Hopefully you like these type of videos. With that aside, let's delve into the real origins of the Witness. This season, we go into the moon of Titan, a place we haven't seen for a while and that has been changed by the pyramid ships, aka the DCV. Just kidding. It was actually taken from a pyramid ship way back when, and we don't know the exact cause of its return, but funny enough, Sloane returns after 3 years of fighting the Taken and the Hive on this destination. There is also a very interesting fact that Sloane was able to consume Taken energy in her fight against the, of course, enemies, and create a bond with a huge fish known as Asha. Now, Asha has vital information about the Witness's origins, and that's what brings us into today's video. Now, over the weeks, we've been helping Asha and Sloane create a bond for Asha's words to come through to us, and over time, we'll eventually find out the true origins of the Witness, but that's why you're here. I just wanted to get that little thing out of the way because it's Asha giving us this important info because she knows the Witness. A long time ago, a race of ancient people were first to discover the Traveler, who they called the Gardener. Like us, when we humans first found the Traveler all the way back pre-Golden Age on Mars, this is actually sort of like the same confrontation and encounter that we had. Now, with the Gardener, they had a Golden Age and created pyramid ships, which is funny enough because we always thought that the pyramids were a form of the darkness, just the way it looked and how it emphasized triangles, to which the Traveler was a spear. We would always make that idea connection that the pyramids were integral to the entire story of the darkness. But this kind of segues the entire idea of that, saying that that was the architecture that this race of ancient people used. It wasn't that it was, a huge part in what the darkness was going to be like. It was just the way they did their architecture, which is cool, you know what I mean? The ancient people would discover that the Traveler would share a connection with an entity they called the Veil. Now, surprisingly enough, after they prospered with life when the Traveler was giving them their golden age, the only thing that they really wanted was purpose. Because over time, this, speechless god would give them all this prosperity and all this knowledge, but no purpose at all. Similar to how basically the 3 years of the first Destiny 1 game went, where we literally had the Traveler speak to us in no way or shape or form. Obviously, we had the speaker, but the speaker would only speak for the Traveler. It wouldn't speak to him, and he couldn't speak to it. It would just be its own type of deal where, you have this god that can't speak, and so hence that's why this ancient people realized that what they really wanted was purpose. And this is integral and pivotal to how the Witness came to be. So over time, the Veil artifact, which we saw in Lightfall, which was inside Neomuna, and obviously Savathun brought the Veil to Neomuna. The Veil was a well of darkness, an energy of thought and consciousness. The ancient people realized that the boundless potential of the light could lead to unfettered chaos and eventually ruin after the Veil showed them what it could do. They realized that the Gardener needed a winnower to achieve perfection of final shape. They attempted to merge the Veil and the Traveler, but the Traveler fled before they could succeed. The ancient people would use the darkness to merge themselves into a single being that could stop the chaos, stop unnecessary pain, and reach the final shape, the Witness. This explains a lot. It also explains why the Witness is such a powerful character, because he himself is a being of an entire race into one. And this also explains why he started his whole entire vengeful act against the Traveler all those eons ago, and it probably explains why he went to civilization to civilization, destroying it, as well as dragging people that he would believe into his fleet of a perfect final shape. It probably explains a lot why the entire thing with Rolk happened, with his whole Lubre entire society. It also explains a lot with Nezarec. It explains a lot with how he got his disciples, and it explains also a lot what happened with other races like the Elixni and said the whirlwind event when the pyramid ships and the Witness came for the Elixni world. This explains why the Witness is the being today and what it is doing to the Traveler now. What this shows us is that the Witness is a very powerful character who and yet has been doing this for eons and eons, finding and trying to get to the Traveler and bring the Veil to commence the final shape. Now obviously we don't know what it's doing in the Traveler right now, and we won't really find out probably until the end of the Year 6 final shape time, but it's obviously news that we should go over and look after to understand this enemy. I will play the full cutscene right after I speak, and hopefully if you want to know that, you can. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you on the next one.
Before you can confront the Witness, you must understand it. The Witness's first victims were once like you, struggling for survival, bolstered by hope, until their hopes became reality. They called it the Gardener, their deity of life. It ushered them into a golden age. For eons they prospered, but their newfound god never spoke to them. It lavished them with gifts, but not with guidance. And though they lived in paradise, they came to crave a greater purpose. They desired meaning, structure, a winnower, to shape the garden. Their scholars discovered that the Gardener shared a connection with another entity among the stars. They called it the Veil, and when they found it, they arrived to claim it. They already knew much about the light, how it could bend the laws of the universe and create life. But they came to realize that it could bring ruin just as easily. The cosmic events it set in motion could wipe out entire civilizations in a heartbeat, without reason. And so they saw the light, not as a source of prosperity, but of unfettered chaos. By studying the Veil, they came to know the darkness, a power that was shaped by thought and consciousness. And in the darkness, they found the means to carve away the chaos of existence, to calcify it into a final shape, eternal and perfected. They brought the Veil back to the Gardener in an attempt to strengthen their connection. There, they could reshape reality itself. The Gardener would not allow it, and so it fled their world. But they would not be deterred. Having witnessed the truth in the darkness, they used its binding power to merge themselves into the salvation they craved. Thus began the Witness's pursuit, its campaign to impose meaning on a meaningless universe, one that is nearly at its end.